Hey guys, it's Roxanne from RoxanneLynch.com. Hey, I'm just popping into your world because we know that no money, honey objections happen, okay? If you've been around the industry for a little while, you're in direct sales or any kind of facet within our beautiful profession and our industry, we get this objection, okay? And, it's just part of what we do. Through conversations, we get to discover whether that woman's a perfect fit within your business or she has objections. And I know it's actually really kind of funny in a weird, quirky way is that we know that a lot of women come into this business because they are actually looking for a little bit of extra income. And yet, it is the top two objections that women have. So, let's jump into this. Okay. So as you guys know, if you haven't met me before, my name is Roxanne Lynch. I live way up here in Alberta, about a 9-hour drive north of the Montana border. And this is what I love to do. I love to pop into your world, create some great conversations, help shake it up a little bit so you guys can have more success within your beloved businesses. Whether you're within my team of social retail or your own beloved businesses, I know that there's enough success and some sunshine out there for everybody, okay? Today we're talking about money objections, and I want to give some ideas on this. I think this is an important subject. Like I shared, if you're in any facet of sales and money, like I shared, it is a very personal subject. Like I said, most women come into some facet of our industry and business because we want to help other women, but we also want to help ourselves and our situation. And yet we know that money, honey objections are real. So the first tip I want to give you guys is understanding we have to come to the table with some posture and belief that we know what we have is absolutely amazing, okay? And it's okay for a woman to say no. It is our job to sift and sort and figure out what hurdles they're having when it comes to money, all right? So there's two aspects, and you guys can kind of pick and choose through your own conversations and own experiences that you guys can discuss this amongst your own brain cells before you go and launch this into a conversation. There's two aspects you can begin with. One is like, oh, really? If you've been talking to them for a long time and they've been conversing about it and you've been talking about it and sharing all the goodness, how it might be a good fit for your friend, the oh, really surprise works really, really well because women aren't used to actually being questioned. It's like, oh, really? Oh, okay. So it puts the onus back on that woman to explain her situation a little bit, okay, of her comfort level, of how she's going to explain it. So that is the first one. It's just a surprise of saying, oh, really? And the other one is that, it's this a little bit softer, which is my favorite, which is, oh, I've heard that objection before. And so it kind of puts them at ease. Like, oh, I've heard that before. And, it's common. For me, actually, the money honey objection doesn't happen very often, but I know it does happen within my team. And I know it might be happening within your beloved businesses, okay? So if I've heard it before context, it kind of puts them at ease. It's like, oh, okay, this isn't anything special that this woman hasn't heard before. She's used to being said, no, I just don't know, I just don't have the money, okay? So we have to remember, and you know me, I'm all about notes, okay? Because we're thinking about this. We all have objections. We all have hurdles and struggles in our lives. If you get a 50-cent raise at work, what happens is we just live a little bit larger, okay? Maybe we spend more money on our passions. We spend more money on our interests or our families or a vacation or a project. But we know usually, okay, the more money that a woman and a family earns, the more money they just spread their circle of passions and interests and the money gets spent, all right? We know also that if the fridge dies, somehow you come up with, a couple $100 to buy a used one, or if the car gets a flat tire, somehow we scramble and we make the money happen to get the tire repaired. So we know this situation. We know it within ourselves. We can make it happen for ourselves. So therefore, we know it can happen within other women. Only very unusual circumstances can't a person come up with a couple $100 if they really, really want to. Okay, so here is the good stuff. The first thing is we have to understand, we have to ask questions in a casual, non-threatening, Patrick Swayze, don't paint baby in the corner kind of way. We need to seek to understand. We need to do that sifting and sorting because we're just trying to figure out really if this woman is really interested, or she's actually just giving you a soft no and deflection. Because most women, when they say, are told, I don't have the money to start this week, I don't have the money, I won't have the money for weeks. Most women aren't being used to being challenged, okay? So, but we want to challenge them and stretch a little bit so we can understand, are they serious? Or are they just trying to give you a soft no and deflect, okay? So it goes back to the very beginning of any conversation when you're having with a businesswoman is, do they understand the value that you are putting in front of them, okay? There's reward over risk. Maybe they're taking up their last $200 stash they've got hidden in their shoebox in case the car does get a flat tire, and they know the washing machine's on its last legs. So you don't know what kind of tough road that they have to hoe, but they have to be able to see the value. So by going back into conversations of thinking, what does that woman really want? You know, what are her dreams? What are her hopes? What are her aspirations? What are her pains? What are her struggles? What does she really want for herself and her family and her kids? And also this amazing community of a sisterhood and this tribe that we have, because a lot of women don't have that within their jobs, okay? So we have to make sure we're covering that. So the first thing is to clarify, okay? So that when it comes to now dealing with objections, now that we've kind of I set up the stage is what I was trying to do, okay? If your girlfriend says, you know, hey, I'm sorry, I just don't have the money. It's just not going to happen. So I can always ask the soft, gentle question. It's like, okay, you know, I understand that. Money's really snug. It's summertime. Empathize. Understand. So they can know that you're on their side. You're in it for them. So if they're saying no money, honey, I would ask the question saying, if you had the funds today, would you really get started? And wait for them to speak, okay? Because maybe, like I said, maybe it's legit, they don't have the money till payday. Or, you know, maybe they're waiting for July, you know, it's a stat holiday. Maybe they're waiting for their stat holiday pay. So is it a maybe? Maybe they're just deflecting. So if you're putting them in your shoes kind of thing, it allows them to relax. And it also it pinpoints them, that sifting and sorting mechanism we have to do every day within our businesses. Is it a true no, or is it a soft no, or is it, you know, just an escape, okay? So that's a simple one to ask. You know, if you had the funds today, would you get started? And then let them speak, okay? Because it lets you know that you're on their side, but you're just doing your job. And if you've been in discussion with this woman for long enough, they know that this is part of the routine of doing business, of sifting and sorting, because they've probably been around the block themselves. They know. They probably ask these questions, all right? So the next question is, when they say no money, honey, you can always respond with say like, you know, that's true. It's like summer's really crazy busy. You know, I understand, like the kids are getting ready for swimming lessons, or you want to go on vacation. So the next question I would always ask is never to presume that they don't have any money. They just might not have like, you know, $150, you know, or the $99 to get started. So I always ask, well, how far away are you? You know, how far off from, you know, getting started are you? So it allows them to have that creativity. It's like, oh, okay, well, she's right. You know, I'm really only missing $75. And, you know, that's not so bad. You know, maybe together you guys can brainstorm and collaborate a little bit so you guys can make that magic happen. Sometimes within our different businesses, of course, we have different get started packages, right? So maybe she really wants to get started, and you were offering her a $299 package, but she can get started for the $149 package. So always offer those options when we figure out what's going on within their world. So asking them the question is like, well, how short are you to get started? You know, or, you know, how much do you have stashed to get started? And fill in the blank. Same thing, zip your lip and let them open it up. I know that when it comes to creativity, that creative thinking, which leads me into tip number 3, is you have to plant those seeds to make it happen, okay? So you have to play with their imagination, because a woman, if I was to say, hey, Did you see that horse with the red lipstick? You can immediately think of a horse with red lipstick, okay? So you have to open up those creative thinking, those avenues and paths of thought so they can make it happen. So what I helped a girlfriend do is she had the no money honey objection, and so I suggested to her, it's like, well, no, I totally get that. Like, summer's crazy, kids are going swimming, you've got vacation. I said, my girlfriend, she actually did house cleaning, and she put a whole bunch of stuff that was just clutter around her house on the buy and sell page, and in no time, lickety split, she had her 149 to get started. So by planting those seeds, it's like, yeah, I got some stuff that I need to get rid of. I've been wanting to do a late spring cleaning anyway. Think about that, okay? Because that's, when you plant the seeds, it opens up the hope again. And women, we love hope, okay? Because we're very creative. We're extremely creative when it comes to making things happen, okay? Tip number 4, stat holiday pay, okay? There was a stat holiday for both us up here in Canada. I'm not sure how it is for you guys down in the States, but we get stat holiday pay, if you're working outside of the home. And of course we have the August one coming up, and then we have the September one coming up, and then we have Thanksgiving. Okay, so think about this. If you have a little bit of stat holiday pay and you have a little bit of a stash, let's see where the creativity is coming in. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to think about. So tip number 5 is, of course, increasing your value and importance. Okay, by placing some importance on this decision, they're going to take it a lot more seriously. And no woman wants to get left behind. And I know that our team within Social Retail, we're doing an amazing Ramp Up to Rocket July challenge. And we have some amazing prizes. So part of the end of my June was to follow up and say, like, hey, there's some special things going on. Like, we have some amazing team challenges. So increase your importance and increase your value by sharing something like, hey, we have a special team challenge going on. Just like for my customers within my social retail business, of course, I have my liquid, what we call waist trainer in a bottle, and it helps basically melt and target fat on, because I like to eat. So I like to be able to have I struggle with stubborn fat with me being premenopausal. So I've offered a bonus for, what I got, a little 3-day mini cleanse, which has a US value of around $20 for us here in Canada. It's $25. I'm giving that away as a free gift. So, if you're going to be taking something to help burn off and reduce, stubborn fat around our bellies and our thighs, that's an amazing gift. So what kind of special incentives can you give? What bonuses can you give? What special unique training can you offer that's going to increase your value and let women know, it's like, hey, I just don't want you to miss out on this. I know you've been on the fence for a little while. I know you've been asking me questions. Last month, was a struggle. Your fridge broke, but this is what's going on this month. So it allows you to re-engage with women that have been on the fence and maybe told you the no money honey story last month. Because I remember what you said, Meg. I remember you said that this is what you wanted to do for your kids in school. And by you taking part of this right now and jumping in on our challenge, this is absolutely, what's going on. I just don't want to leave you behind. Because, we know that summer is... I've ranked up more in the summertime than I ever have any other time of the year. Summer is amazing for connecting and networking and building our businesses. So anyway, so these are some of the ideas. If you guys got some value, definitely mash those emoticons. If you guys want the notes of this, I will get them to you probably by Saturday. So if you want the notes on this to share with your team, share the video. I'll give you the notes too for free. I love giving away free stuff. And if you're struggling and you're banging your head and you don't have the right team and you don't have the right training, you don't have the right nurturing, support, tribe, culture, by all means, ask me what the heck social retail is. And if you're battling stubborn fat on your belly, on your thighs, and me being pear-shaped, ask me about my free giveaway and ask me about my liquid waist trainer in a bottle, okay? You guys have a fabulous evening, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the sunny side of life tomorrow. Bye, guys.